What's up, y'all? It's Alpha.
Levi, and today we want to ask you a question. Have you ever been on a date with someone? What's like the worst experience you guys have ever had on a date or in a relationship? We have some really funny stories. You want to tell yours first?
You tell yours first.
Okay. So, a few years ago, I liked this guy, and you know, we started talking, and I thought he was really cool, and he was actually my first crush when I was like 7 years old, and then I ended up meeting him again when I was 18. Is that too much information?
No, but that's the very reason why they say you should not, like, certain fantasies in your mind, you should never really get to meet the person because it just ruins it, and hers got ruined.
So check this out. So I meet him again. I was like, oh my god, he's really cute, and like I like him. So he was like, Lisa, oh my god, what have you been up to? We started talking. Next thing you know, I was going over to his house and, you know, getting him, we were going like to the mall or whatever, going to restaurants. And one day he was like, you know, we should go out to a restaurant tonight. I was like, all right. So I show up at his place, and when I get there, I notice that he's on his bed, and I look at him and I'm like, what are you doing? And he starts saying, oh my god, I'm so upset, I'm so upset. I'm like, what's wrong? And he goes, my shirt, there's a stain on it. My mom just brought over all my clothes and there's a stain on my shirt. And first I'm like, your mom still washes your clothes, like she still does your laundry. You don't live with your mom, so why is she doing your laundry? Anyhow, so I'm like, I'm sure, you know, I'm sure it's fine. And he shows it to me, and there's like a black mark on it. I'm like, well, just pick another shirt. So I'm like, I'm gonna use the restroom real quick. And he's like, okay. So I go to the restroom, I come back out, and he's on top of his bed, like this. The shirt's here. He's on top of his bed, putting liquid paper on his white shirt.
White out.
He's putting white out on his freaking shirt. And I looked at him. I was like, what are you doing? And he goes, well, I want to get the stain out. I'm really upset. This is a shirt I want to wear, so I want to get the stain out. I'm like, wear another shirt. You're really putting white out on your shirt? And he's like, yeah. He's like, can you tell? And he puts his shirt up. I'm like, yeah, I could tell. There's white out on your shirt. He backs up a good 6 or 7 feet, and then he goes, well, can you tell now? And I was like, oh my god, I would never be with a man like this. Ever. I had to break it up with him.
Wasn't there something else weird that he was doing, like?
Yes, okay, let me tell you another quick weird story. I went out, I was doing a lot of gigs, you know, singing at clubs and whatnot, and one day I came back to his place, and I walk in, he's just sitting there on his bed, like all like pensive, and I'm like, what's up? And then he's like, you know what? I was thinking all night long, like, out of everybody in the world, who would I want to be with if I could choose anybody in the world? And the only person that I could come up with is you. Like, I wouldn't want anybody else. You're like my dream woman. You're like the most beautiful woman in the world. And I looked at him, I'm like, you're so sweet. Like, that's so sweet of you. And then he goes, well, you know, except for that other woman, Shania Twain, I think she's beautiful. Like, besides her, you would be my #1 pick. And I was like, wow, like, really? I was in shock. And I started laughing, and that was like one of the last times I saw him.
That's funny.
So those are my weird date stories.
It reminds me of the guy that you dated that said he thought a guy was hot, and he asked you if you thought he was hot.
Oh my god. Okay, can I tell that story real quick? I liked this guy. I went over to his house. We were watching movies, and
tell your story.
Right before the movie went on, there was a commercial on TV. And this guy said to me, so let me ask you a question. Like, what do you think of Bruce Willis? I was like, Bruce Willis? What about his acting? He's like, no, do you think he's hot? I was like, no. And he's like, so really, you really don't think he's hot? And I was like, no, not at all. And he's like, that is so weird. I was like, why is that weird? And he goes, because honestly, if I were a girl, I would sleep with Bruce Willis in a second.
I'm glad you gave it that much thought.
Oh my god. I couldn't believe it. So I was sitting there going, oh my god, I really want to go home, like, right now. Like, he's gay. Like why, like, he's pretending to like me or something? Or is he bi? Like, I don't get it. Anyways, it was such a turn off to me. And then that was the last time I spoke to him. He walked me home afterwards. He tried to kiss me. I did like the nice like on the cheek type of move. And that was the last time I ever saw him.
So, my story is, long story short, I was in a mall one day, and I was in this clothing store, and if I remember correctly, this is back in Cincinnati, Ohio, and I was in a store called Rags to Riches. And I'm in there shopping around, and then me and this girl strike up conversation. And so we're like talking, we're kicking it, and we're both like, oh, you know, she's cool, whatever. And so we're like, you know, we ended up actually making plans to hang out later that night, you know. So we were like, you know, we'll hang out tonight. And so I was like, I'll come pick you up. And in Cincinnati, we still have drive-in theater. So I was like, you know what, I'll take you to the drive-in theater. We'll kick, we'll have some fun. So go pick her up. We go to the drive-in theater, and we're chilling. And like the movie's on, we're not really watching a movie. We're like kind of talking, getting to know each other, and we start talking about previous relationships. And she's like, she goes, yeah, she said, I dated this one guy, she said, but she said, I don't really know what happened to him. I said, what do you mean you don't know what happened to him? She said, well, my boyfriend before him was in the mob, and his family was entirely in the mob, and we had a nasty breakup, and he let me know that once his, always his, and if I date anyone else, that he's going to take care of that person. And he said he found out that I was dating someone new, and she said, like a week later, I just never saw that guy again. And so I'm sitting in the car, and at this point I'm spooked, because I'm just looking around like, mind you, at the time I'm like, I had to be like maybe 18. So, you know, I'm younger, you know, I knew a little bit less about the world, and regardless, even now, I'd still be spooked. And I'm sitting in the drive-thru, and she's telling me like, you know, he used to follow me everywhere. Sometimes he sits outside of my place to see who I'm coming and leaving with, if I'm leaving with anybody, and then like, you know, he calls his people, and like, so I just stay in the house a lot, and then I'm like, why in the world did you have me come pick you up? And now we out, and I gotta take you back to your house. So, needless to say, after that first date, we never spoke again about you in my life, and I ain't trying to get killed by no Italian mob. So,
That's nuts.
yeah, so turn off getting shot and killed and thrown in a river.
Yeah, that's a pretty big turn off.
Yeah. So anyway, those have been our dating horror stories and turn-offs and all that stuff. So please comment below, let us know if you had any interesting stories.
Yes, or leave us a video response if you want to.
Yes, we would love a video response. That would be extra dope.
Yes.
So, yeah. And if you're any of those people that we mentioned in the story,
we're sorry.
And don't contact us. So anyway, this has been Alpha.
Levine.
And we'll catch y'all on the flip. Peace. Deuce. Coffee. What's up, y'all? It's Alpha.
Levine. What's up, guys?
It's Alpha.
Levine. Come on, you start.
If I can't drink loud, you can't chew loud. Because right now you sound like a little pig chewing on some garbage.
Okay, that's gross.
And okay. She just put that piece of gum right on her laptop. What's up, everybody? It's Alpha.
Levine.
She's got problems.
Okay.
When we say Alpha, Levine, you're supposed to keep talking.
No, sometimes you talk. I wasn't sure who was gonna talk first. I'm gonna talk, okay? What's up, guys? This is Alpha. What's your first?
You started off this time.
No, I want to say Levine.
Let's just try it.
I don't want to do it like that.
Let's just try it once.
What's up, guys? This is Alpha.
Cat, thanks for watching.
You want to start?
Why are you sitting there staring at me like that? You ever shot a video of someone who sits like this the whole time you're talking? She's crazy.
Alpha.